Welcome back. We are going to jump right into our fourth speaker. We have Päivi Raivio. Päivi is a Helsinki-based artist designer with a mission to rethink public places using urban design, placemaking, and public art methods and tools. I know we worked with Päivi a little before, and we're really excited to hear what she's doing in winter in Helsinki. So I'll give the floor to Päivi now.
Thank you, Adam. Thanks. I'll share my screen. I think that should work. Enter screen. So wait a sec. So you can all see it, right? Good, good. Okay, so I'm presenting a bit of our work. So I'm one of the founders of RaivioBumann, our creative studio based in Helsinki. And actually, Daniel Bumann is on viewing this as we speak. So, but I'm representing us tonight on Placemaking Pils. So thanks for inviting us along. So what we do different sort of urban design, public art, placemaking projects, which have sort of a direct focus on people participation. So these pictures are from our previous projects. As you can see, there is a lot of sort of act of play, disrupting the public space as it is and changing the dynamics of public space. That's really in the focus of our work. We also do sort of green infrastructure projects with a creative approach. So from urban gardening to different sort of recent projects include a meadow project with sort of participatory element. So this is who we are, myself and Daniel. We work also within our network with researchers, architects, municipalities, cities, but we both kind of, our background is from set design and public art and community art, and that's really, I guess, can be seen in our approach and in our projects. So we love cities, public spaces, and have this sort of ideas-led approach to solving issues in cities with creative methods and tools. So we both, Daniel is from Switzerland, so 1 foot in Switzerland we have at the moment even. And I've lived in London, and Daniel has lived, or is from Bern, and has lived in Vienna for a very long time. And now we've settled in Helsinki. So this is how we work, and this maybe explains a bit also the Light Swing project. So we have our artistic practice, which is more independent from the sort of commissions and collaborations with clients. And artistic practice we like to call as the art lab, where we develop creative ideas for public spaces. And then from our lab, we come up with different services or products or processes for the public realm, where we then actually work with cities and other clients and collaborators. So, but these two sort of spheres are driven by our sort of same values. So inclusive cities, better public spaces, that sort of interaction between people and places, and how to make public space a more democratic platform. Oops. So here, to give a bit of background, here's 3 aspects to our work in the public realm, which is good background for the Light Swing project presentation after a few slides. So we like to think that we are re-choreographing public space with sort of creative approaches, creative solutions, and often we like to call our work sort of alternative infrastructure. So for instance, this kiosk, which is called kohtaamiskioski, which means like meeting kiosk or encounters kiosk, which was set up in a newly developed area in Helsinki, which doesn't yet have a sense of community or the sort of community entity there yet, as it is a newly built area. And we have different sort of kiosk ideas at the moment, and going to sort of produce different sort of kiosk themes in the next year. The other approach is to aim for people, for citizens to become more active participants of public space. So really we have lots of spaces where people are mainly passing by and they don't really root or belong to places, and we want to sort of create these friendly obstacles for them in order them to stop and observe what's happening, and through that create encounters where people can meet each other. This is a sad picture for a placemaker, but I use it a lot. It is a sort of very, how do you say, it highlights the issue of how we read public space and how it affects our behavior. So we want to create stories, visible stories that people read and would like to, or would then see the possibilities in public space. So basically, we want to formulate a message which is inviting, inclusive, and interesting public spaces. So the light swing idea is very much sort of about winters, the darker seasons. We had the idea of some kind of interactive element and started to think, how can we create light or combine light, movement, play, and also light or electricity out of grid. And we came up with this idea of combining these in a swing, and started to research how we can kind of transfer human motion to electricity with dynamos. So this first sketches or first drafts of images we had, we applied for some arts funding. Well, this was related to a bigger project, but anyway, through this we went into prototyping and a lot of testing. So testing, and one more time testing, because it's, even though it is quite simple, it works with the dynamo, it took a lot of wiring and sort of understanding the logistics of getting these LED lights going. But eventually we succeeded, and with the help of here pictured Steve Maher, who was a media artist, he had a helping hand for us. So we ended up with the light swing, which is a playful structure for public spaces. And what we want to often do with our work, we want to sort of make it concrete for people, how we can apply sustainable thinking and sort of methods or logica, I don't know what's that in English, but anyway, like, yeah, how they can actually, the public can understand a bit more about energy production with kinetics or motion when they use this swing. So the lights get powered fully through the energy created by the movement of the user. This is often like related to a bigger philosophy of ours, like how we can bring the sense of play to public spaces, which is often sort of fenced in the official play parks. Okay. So we created this concept called Winter in Hell, how we can make public spaces more fun during the winter, the icy, dark, cold seasons, and linked the light swing to this Winter in Hell concept. We've had the swing up and running in Helsinki City Museum courtyards during Lux Helsinki, the annual light festival, and have had a really nice feedback also thanks to our placemaker fellows in the Nordics and in Europe who've helped spread the message and kind of highlight this as an example. But of course, so far best feedback is to see kids and adults as well using this swing. However, it's very hard to document it because it's dark when people are using it. So we don't have actually too many photos of that. So we've had good feedback and we are really happy to hear whenever people think it's a very good idea, including design critic and activist Stefan Sagmeister, who was very happily saying and asking, is this already installed all over Finland? It's not, unfortunately, but we are on it. We're currently trying to find different ways to take this idea forward, maybe scale it up or find collaborators to multiply this and really then have this light swing in different kinds of public spaces. And one more example, so snow modeling. This is a project I did already in 2012 in a smaller city in Finland. But this I just wanted to drop here as a final sort of fun example of how you can do placemaking in winter if you have snow, and hopefully we will have in the coming years too. So this was a very much a bottom-up project with local skateboarders approaching the local art school there, and I was facilitating this process of turning this initial idea into some sort of format of a real skate park. And during these workshops of co-planning and talking to the city planners too in Kankaanpää, we then ended up doing this small-scale model in one-to-one model out of snow with the help of city gardener who dropped us like, I don't know how many, loads of snow. But what was fun about it, they could actually snowboard on this scale model, and it was active for few weeks even after that. So what really was important that the youth gets their sort of idea realized, and the other sort of fellow citizens would see the great initiative they've done and the spirit there is if such lively places would be in Kankaanpää. And only after 8 years, the skate park is ready in Kankaanpää. And we can speculate why that is, but anyway, happy ending there. So thanks a lot from my half and looking forward for the next presentation.
Thanks so much, Päivi. I know we're really inspired by your work over here at Nabolagshager, and I think your concept of winter from hell is super fun. I know that November in Scandinavia feels like hell. So we're getting about 6 hours of daylight right now, and having something to do after the sun goes down at 3:30 is really important. So yeah, we're really inspired by your work.